Welcome to the silent strategy for building wealth without the noise. In a world obsessed with quick wins and viral success stories, the most powerful path to financial freedom happens quietly, almost invisibly. This is not about get-rich-quick schemes, loud boasting, or endless social media updates about your latest purchase. This is about something far more valuable: the deliberate, methodical accumulation of wealth through discipline, patience, and strategies so simple they often get overlooked. The noise around money is deafening. Every day, thousands of voices compete for your attention, telling you to buy the latest cryptocurrency, jump into the hottest stock, or invest in the next guaranteed opportunity. Financial gurus shout from podcasts, influencers broadcast their luxury lifestyles. Everyone seems to have an opinion about what you should do with your money. But here is the uncomfortable truth. The people actually building substantial wealth are rarely the ones making the loudest claims. Think about the wealthiest individuals you know, whether in your personal circle or throughout history. Most of them share something in common. They do not constantly advertise their success. They do not need to convince anyone of their intelligence or acumen. They simply build, quietly and consistently, while others are distracted by the noise. The silent strategy begins with a fundamental principle: live below your means. This is not revolutionary advice, but it is revolutionary in practice. Living below your means means spending less than you earn, consistently, without fanfare or external validation. It means buying the reliable car instead of the flashy one. It means wearing quality clothes that last years instead of chasing trends. It means preparing meals at home instead of broadcasting expensive restaurant visits online. When you live below your means, something powerful happens. The gap between your income and your spending becomes your wealth-building tool. This gap, often called your savings rate, is where real money is made. The larger this gap, the faster you accumulate capital. And capital, patient capital that compounds over decades, is the true engine of wealth. Many people earn substantial incomes but remain perpetually broke because they spend every penny. They upgrade their lifestyle the moment their salary increases. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it is one of the greatest wealth killers. The silent strategist avoids this trap entirely. When income increases, most of that increase goes toward building wealth, not toward consumption. The second pillar of the silent strategy is understanding compound interest. Albert Einstein supposedly called it the eighth wonder of the world. Whether he actually said this or not, the principle is absolutely true. Compound interest is simply interest earning interest, earning more interest. It is the snowball effect applied to money. Start with $1,000, earn 10% annually. In 10 years, you have nearly $2,600. In 20 years, over $6,700. In 30 years, nearly $17,500. All from that single $1,000 investment. But compound interest does not require large starting amounts. It requires time and consistency. A person who invests $5,000 annually, starting at age 25, will accumulate far more wealth by age 65 than someone who invests $10,000 annually but starts at age 35. Time is the variable that does most of the work. Money is simply the tool. The silent strategist understands this deeply. They invest consistently, month after month, year after year, without waiting for the perfect market conditions. They do not try to time the market. They do not panic sell during downturns. They simply maintain discipline, add to their positions regularly, and let decades of compound growth do the heavy lifting. Investing in low-cost index funds is the practical embodiment of this approach. An index fund that tracks the overall market requires minimal attention. You do not need to pick individual stocks or follow financial news obsessively. You simply invest regularly and let the fund grow. The fees are low, the diversification is automatic, and the results over long periods have been remarkably consistent. This is not exciting. It does not make for engaging podcasts or viral TikTok content, but it works. The third pillar is avoiding debt, or more specifically, avoiding consumer debt. Not all debt is bad. Debt used to purchase appreciating assets, like real estate or education, can be a tool. But debt used to buy depreciating consumer goods is a wealth killer. Car loans, credit card debt, personal loans for vacations or jewelry. These are anchors holding you back. When you avoid consumer debt, several things happen simultaneously. First, you free up cash flow that would otherwise go toward interest payments. Second, you avoid the psychological burden of owing money. Third, you develop the discipline of delayed gratification. You learn to want things without immediately obtaining them. This mental shift is more valuable than almost any investment strategy. The silent strategist also understands the power of spending time instead of spending money. They read books from the library instead of buying them. They exercise in parks instead of paying for expensive gym memberships. They host dinners at home with friends instead of paying restaurants. This is not deprivation. It is actually a richer life in many ways, but it is also dramatically cheaper. Education is another critical component, though not in the traditional sense. The silent strategist is constantly learning about finance, investing, and economics. They read books, listen to educational podcasts, and study the strategies of successful investors. They understand that knowledge is one of the few things that compounds without limit. The more you learn, the better decisions you make. Better decisions lead to better outcomes. Better outcomes lead to more wealth. Taxes are another area where silent strategists excel. They do not take unnecessary risks to avoid taxes, but they do understand the tax code. They maximize retirement contributions. They utilize tax-advantaged accounts, like Roth accounts and health savings accounts. They understand capital gains taxation and structure their investments accordingly. Over decades, this tax optimization can result in hundreds of thousands of dollars in additional wealth. The silent strategist also builds multiple income streams, though they do this quietly. Perhaps they start a small side business. Perhaps they develop skills that allow them to earn consulting income. Perhaps they create content or products that generate passive revenue. This is not about becoming an entrepreneur with a flashy startup. It is about slowly, steadily adding additional sources of income while maintaining their primary job. This reduces risk and accelerates wealth building. Real estate often plays a role in the silent strategy, but not in the glamorous way depicted on television. The silent strategist might purchase a modest primary residence and hold it for decades, watching as property appreciation and mortgage paydown build equity. They might purchase a second property as a rental, carefully screening tenants and maintaining the property to generate steady cash flow. This is not about flipping properties for quick profits. It is about long-term wealth building through real estate. The psychological component of the silent strategy cannot be overstated. Wealth building is not exciting. It does not provide constant dopamine hits. There are no viral moments, no Instagram-worthy achievements. For months and years, the changes are almost imperceptible. Your net worth grows by a few $1,000s. Your investment accounts slowly accumulate value. Nothing spectacular happens. This is precisely why most people abandon the silent strategy and chase the noise instead. The people who succeed understand that wealth building is a marathon, not a sprint. They do not need external validation. They do not need to tell anyone about their financial progress. In fact, keeping quiet about your wealth is part of the strategy. Broadcasting your success makes you a target. It attracts friends and family asking for loans. It creates pressure to spend money to maintain an image. Silence provides freedom. One often overlooked aspect is the power of relationships and networks built quietly. The silent strategist cultivates genuine friendships and professional relationships without agenda. They help others without keeping score. Over decades, these relationships often lead to opportunities, partnerships, and collaborations that accelerate wealth building. But this happens naturally, without manipulation or calculation. The role of discipline in the silent strategy is fundamental. You must discipline yourself to spend less than you earn. You must discipline yourself to invest consistently, even when markets are down and everyone around you is panicking. You must discipline yourself to learn continuously. You must discipline yourself to resist the constant temptation to spend money on things you do not need. This discipline is developed like a muscle. Each small act of discipline makes the next act easier. Timing is less important than consistency. The silent strategist does not wait for the perfect moment to start investing. They start now, with whatever they have available. Even small amounts invested early grow exponentially over decades. Someone who invests $300 monthly, starting at age 25, will accumulate substantially more wealth than someone who waits until age 35 to start investing $500 monthly. The extra decade of time is more valuable than the extra $200 monthly. The silent strategy also involves protecting your wealth once you have accumulated it. This means appropriate insurance coverage. This means diversification across different asset classes and geographic regions. This means avoiding concentration risk, where too much wealth is tied to a single investment. As your wealth grows, you develop sophistication about risk management. You understand that losing money is far more damaging to long-term wealth than missing out on gains. As you implement the silent strategy, you may notice something unexpected. You begin to care less about status symbols and consumer goods. You find that experiences and relationships matter far more than possessions. You develop a sense of freedom that money cannot buy, but that financial security enables. You sleep better at night, knowing you have built a cushion against life's uncertainties. You gain the ability to take risks professionally because you have financial stability at home. The greatest power of the silent strategy is the optionality it provides. With substantial wealth accumulated, you can leave a bad job without fear. You can take on meaningful projects that do not pay much but fulfill you deeply. You can help family members in need. You can pursue education or training in areas you are passionate about. You can retire early if you choose. You can give generously to causes you believe in. Money provides options, and options provide freedom. The silent strategy is not about deprivation or joyless accumulation. It is about being intentional with your resources. It is about making conscious choices about what matters to you and spending accordingly. It is about finding joy in things that do not require expensive purchases. It is about building something substantial that no one needs to announce or prove. Your wealth speaks for itself through your choices and the freedom you possess. In conclusion, the path to substantial wealth is remarkably unglamorous. It involves no exotic secrets or complicated strategies. It is based on timeless principles that have worked for generations. Earn more than you spend. Invest the difference. Let compound interest work over decades. Manage taxes intelligently and maintain discipline through both good times and difficult times. The path is silent because it is not designed to impress anyone. It is designed to work, and it does for anyone patient enough to follow it.